Are you a pumping mom who's seen a low milk supply? If so, in this video, I'm going to go over what may look like a low supply but not really be. A lot of moms give up breastfeeding because they feel like they have too low of a supply. And if you do have a low supply, then we're going to talk about how to increase it. Are you ready? Let's go. Be confident and successful in your breastfeeding journey. 1 to 1.5 ounces pumped every hour is average. So if it's been 2 hours since you pumped last, 2 ounces is very average. Sometimes it could be a little more and sometimes it can be a little less depending on the time of day or some other things going on. Now that average pumping is not right after a feeding, it's in place of a feeding. So if baby just fed and you try to pump, you're not going to see nearly that much on average. So this is very normal to see just 1 to 1.5 ounces pumped per hour. If you are feeding baby exclusively from the breast, baby's only going to take in 24 ounces every 24 hours. Now that's average for a baby that's 1 month old all the way up to 6 months old. Very average and normal. It won't vary too much, even depending on the size of your baby and their weight. It stays pretty close to that. Might go up 1 or 2 ounces, down to a couple of ounces, but it stays really close to that. But when baby gets pumped milk in a bottle, they often are overfed. And that causes mom to doubt her milk supply and to not be able to keep up with this wasted amount of milk that baby's taking in. So I do have a video on paced feeding, and that's how to pace how fast baby gets milk from a bottle. And if you need that information, I'll put a link below in the description for you to check that one out. Now, if you are pumping in the first 6 to 8 weeks postpartum, you are going to see a larger amount, and then it's going to drop down to this amount when your milk regulates. So don't let that scare you when you see the drop. If you're a mom with a forceful letdown and oversupply, you may see a really large amount, like 8 ounces. And then all of a sudden when it regulates, it might go down just to 5 or 6 ounces, and you really get stressed about how much that dropped. But just know that's still a lot of milk. Now you know that baby's getting enough to eat if you always see 6 or more wet diapers every 24 hours. If you're a mom who may have a forceful letdown and oversupply, I'll link a video to that in the description also. For those moms, you may see problems with the baby, like baby choking a lot. Baby may have been diagnosed with dairy allergies, but they may not really have that, or diagnosed with reflux, or have some issues with very high weight gain, but more often even really low weight gain with that condition. So please check that video out if you think at all it's a possibility for you to have that. No matter if you are feeding exclusively from the breast or if you pump, you have more milk in the first part of the day. Now that larger volume of milk has slightly more water and less fat in it. If you were to pump in the afternoon, moms sometimes will see a half an ounce and get really nervous that their supply has dropped. But that's totally normal. That afternoon milk has more fat in it to sustain baby a little longer, hopefully through the night, sleep a little longer stretches. So if you are pumping and you just see a half an ounce in the afternoon, or sometimes even just drops, that can be really normal. So don't get too scared about that. Now, when you are pumping, you need to be very consistent. So if you pump at 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock every day, then you need to keep doing that every single day. If you drop, say, your 1 o'clock pumping today, then your milk supply will start to go down after doing that a couple of times. So you also risk getting a clogged duct if you skip those pumpings, but to keep your supply up, it needs to be very consistent. So you know your baby's eating really consistently, so you need to keep pretty close to your baby's schedule. You need to pump at least that often and around the same times as baby's eating, or slightly more often. Now, if you're using a freezer stash, that's going to drop your supply too. So whatever goes into baby should be coming out of you at about the same time. So then baby can get that milk the very next day, and it keeps your supply up where it needs to be. There are 3 keys to making milk, and those are moving milk out of you, moving milk often, and stimulation. And all three are just as important. And the part that gets missed most when mom is pumping is the stimulation part. So baby's mouth on your breast moves differently than a pump. Plus, baby's saliva is actually absorbed into your skin, telling your body to make more milk. Having baby skin to skin on your breast releases more oxytocin, also telling your body to make more milk. So when you're pumping, you need to add lots and lots of breast massage. That can be a couple of minutes or all the way up to 10 minutes if you are having trouble making enough milk. You want to spend a few minutes massaging your full breast all the way around, whole breast. I tell moms sometimes if you need some extra stimulation, you can even use your wrists through your shirt just to add some stimulation throughout the day. Or if you're going to use the bathroom, sit there and do some massage. But on your bare breast really help too. You can also apply some heat before you pump. That helps your letdown to happen a little sooner and so that you get a little bit more milk out. I really want to emphasize how important the stimulation is when you're pumping. If your pumping output has dropped and you're just massaging your breasts for a minute before you apply your pump, then add more time. 5 or 10 minutes of breast massage can really increase your pumping output. Also, your pumping parts need changed. So if you're not changing on a regular basis, you may see a reduction in the amount that you're able to pump. Now, some moms in some careers have a hard time getting a regular break. So my moms that are teachers or nurses or bartenders, those moms I see just don't get a regular scheduled break very often. So if that's you, a hands-free pump can be very effective. But I really want to caution that you need to remember to add the stimulation. So if you do get a break, stop and add some breast massage when you can in between your pumpings. So if you are going to try a hands-free pump, those can be $500 or more. I really do like the Momcozy pump. It's more affordable, and a lot of my moms just love it. So if you're a mom that needs to use a hands-free pump, these are moms who I see have a big problem with losing their supply because they forget to add that stimulation. Some moms are told that they need to add herbs or supplements or even drink more water to make more milk. And the supplements sometimes can actually lower your milk supply, so I caution moms with that. Drinking more water is healthy for you, but it absolutely will not make you more breast milk. The best way to make more milk is to have baby on the breast more often or to pump and add the stimulation. And when you have been pumping consistently and adding that stimulation, you will start to see some more milk in 3 to 5 days. So don't expect to see it that day or even the next. So in about 3 days of being very consistent, you'll start to see a little bit more milk. And then every day start to see slightly more milk until your milk supply has increased where it should be. One thing that I hear moms say is that my milk supply just dried up. If you had a milk supply, you can get back there, especially if you're just dwindled down, it's not completely gone, it's a little bit easier to get back there if it's not been as long. So have faith in yourself. It is a lot of work, but you can do it. You can get your supply back up where it should be if it is low. Now, I hope this has really helped, Mommy. Let me know if you have any questions and how pumping is going for you. Thanks a lot, Mommy. You got this.